The Psychology of Wealth, The Practical Guide to Enduring Success by Napoleon Hill, read by Robert G. Slade, including an introduction read by the editor, Joel Fotinos.
Introduction by Joel Fotinos. The title of this collection by Napoleon Hill is particularly accurate. While many people believe that Napoleon Hill wrote books about money and what to do with it, what he actually wrote about was the mindset of money. If you increase your mental attitude about money, and then match your actions to that increased mental attitude, it makes sense that you will see an increase in your financial status. More importantly, the wealth that Hill refers to is both financial wealth, and even more he refers to a wealth of ideas, a wealth of imagination, a wealth of experience, and a wealth that comes from pursuing your passion. The question is, how? That's the question that this audiobook answers. I became fascinated with the principles in Hill's books, along with other classics by other authors written around the same time. The idea that there is a mindset I could practice that would help me attain wealth or at least get out of debt became a focus for me. When I first became acquainted with Hill's material, I was deeply in debt and didn't foresee a prosperous future. I was working to pay bills, and even then I was using my credit cards like the old saying, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I kept falling further and further behind. My biggest financial goal was to just get to zero, that is, to get out of debt. At one point, I started reading a number of books about what to do with my lack of money, how to get out of debt, where to invest, etc. These were all written by wealthy people, but none of those books sparked me. They all seemed complicated and unattainable, and they all dealt with money itself. However, I did notice one thing that was common to nearly all of those books on financial wealth. The authors mentioned being originally inspired by the writings of Napoleon Hill. It occurred to me that if those authors were all inspired by Napoleon Hill, maybe I should skip their books and go right to their source. So I did, and everything changed for me. While those other authors wrote about the effects of money, for example, what to do with money, specific financial steps to get out of debt, which stocks and bonds the reader should investigate, etc., Hill's books all dealt with the cause of money. In other words, he wrote about the mindset of money and why certain mindsets tend to cause less success and other mindsets tend to cause more success. He didn't talk about 401k plans and IRA accounts. He wrote about making goals, using your imagination, the power of decisions, and more. These were transformative concepts for me. I did as Hill suggested, and my life improved. The more I used the principles, the more my life opened up. The audiobook you are now listening to contains those very principles. It contains The Magic Ladder to Success, originally published in 1930. This book was published 7 years before his most famous book, Think and Grow Rich, and many consider it to be his most powerful book. The Magic Ladder to Success distills the 17 factors for a life of success that he originally outlined in his huge multi-volume series, The Law of Success, later published in one large volume. It's strikingly clear and motivational. And The Master Key to Riches, originally published in 1945. This book is a wide-ranging book of the many steps and ideas that lead to a richer life. One of the main messages is that riches is an outlook, not about bank accounts and material items. When you feel rich, you are rich, and this book shows practical steps toward that outcome. In addition to those two full and original books,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?